Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive shift in how brands talk to us. We're moving away from the old-school megaphone of traditional ads and stepping right into the world of social marketing. And the big idea here? It's not about shouting a message anymore. It's about starting a conversation.
For, forever, marketing was pretty much a one-way street. You see it on the left there. Brands had a megaphone, and they just blasted their message out to anyone who would listen. But then, social media came along and just completely flipped that model on its head. Now it's all about the chat bubble on the right. The whole game has changed from a monologue to a real dialogue.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. The top priority isn't just pushing a message out anymore. Nope. The real win is getting a response, creating that back and forth and actually building a real relationship. If you take away one thing, it's this: engagement is king.
So let's really get into what it means to go beyond the megaphone. And just so we're clear, this isn't some small adjustment in strategy. We are talking about a totally different philosophy for how a business even talks to the world.
Okay, so what is social marketing exactly? Well, at its heart, it's the art of using all those online networks we live on. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of them. Not just to sell stuff, but to build a brand's personality and, ultimately to bring in revenue. It's about turning these digital hangouts into actual, thriving communities.
This image just captures that first crucial step so well. It's called fan acquisition. See, you're not trying to force a message on people. You're creating something so interesting, so cool, that they actually want to line up and see what your brand is all about. You're not yelling at them, you're handing them an invitation.
And once they accept that invitation, the job's not done. The real goal is to turn those passive followers into active, passionate fans. You want them commenting, liking, sharing. And the holy grail? You want them to get so excited that they tell all their friends about you. They basically become your best marketers, and they do it for free.
Right. So if this whole thing is about conversation, what does a good conversation even look like for a brand? Let's break down the essential pieces you need to build a killer social marketing strategy.
Any solid strategy really stands on three main pillars. First up, you've got social media marketing, or SMM. That's your foundation. It's how you communicate, share stuff, and build your brand's voice. Then there's social commerce, which is this really cool evolution where you can buy something directly from a post. It closes that gap between, "Ooh, I like that," and "I just bought it." And finally, social CRM. Think of this as the brains of the conversation, using these platforms to listen, respond, and really manage your relationship with your audience.
Okay, theory is great, but how do companies actually pull this off? Let's crack open the playbook and look at the real-world strategies and tactics that brands are using every single day to make this happen.
Every single one of us goes on a journey when we buy something, and it usually looks like this classic marketing funnel. Right at the top, there's awareness. That's when social media helps you discover a brand even exists. Then, as you move down, you start thinking about it. Maybe you see some reviews or tutorials in your feed. And finally, at the very bottom is conversion. You make the purchase. What's so amazing about social marketing is that it can play a role at every single one of these stages.
So how do you move people through that funnel? Well, it all boils down to these three things. Engagement. That means you're actually talking back, answering questions, being human. Amplification. That's when your followers start sharing your content for you, becoming your own little broadcast network. And when you do those two things right, you get community development. A space where people feel like they belong and they're loyal to you. Now, to make all that magic happen, brands have this incredible toolkit of strategies. You've got things like viral marketing, which is all about creating that one piece of content that just explodes everywhere. Then there's stuff built on trust, like permission marketing, where people actually ask to hear from you, or influencer marketing, where you borrow the trust of a creator. And holding it all together, you've got content marketing, giving away great stuff for free, and social listening, which is just the simple, vital act of paying attention to what people are saying.
And here is a fantastic real-world example of this stuff in action. The magazine Mental Floss, on their Facebook page, gives out these little top fan badges. It's so simple, but it's brilliant. It's a tiny reward that makes their most loyal fans feel special and seen, which of course makes them want to engage even more. That's a perfect engagement strategy right there.
This all sounds amazing, right? But for a business, the big question is, does it actually work?
Is it making money? So let's talk about how companies measure all this and figure out how to turn those fans into an actual fortune.
They basically look at it in two major ways. On one side, you have the social metrics. How many new fans are we getting? Are people actually interacting with our posts? How far is our message spreading? But on the other side, you have the bottom line, conversion rates. Companies are constantly tracking if people who come from, say, Instagram are actually buying more than people who come from a simple Google search. That's the ultimate test.
And this idea, this quote, brings us right back to the most important point of all. If you're looking at social media and just seeing another place to stick an ad, you are completely missing the point. It's not a billboard, it's a toolbox for communication.
And that's really what this is all about. Social media, when it's done right, creates these incredibly close two-way connections that just weren't possible before. It connects customers to the brand, sure, but it also connects them to each other, creating a genuine community. It creates a whole ecosystem built on conversation.
Which really leaves us with one final thing to think about. If marketing has truly become this massive global conversation, what do you think is the next big thing brands are going to want to talk about?